All right, so today we're diving into something a bit different.
Oh,
Yeah, a motivational story from, I guess you could say, a different cultural perspective.
okay. I'm interested.
Yeah, so it's actually told in Hindi with English subtitles.
Oh, wow.
And it's one of those stories that really kind of makes you think and appreciate what you have.
I like those.
So basically, it starts with this man standing by a river,
Okay.
and he's just completely overwhelmed with despair, like just drowning in debt.
Yeah, that feeling of being trapped, like no way out. I think a lot of people can relate to that, unfortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Life can be tough.
For sure.
And so in this story, the man is so desperate, he's actually about to end his life.
Wow.
He's like wading into the river, ready to give up on everything.
That's heavy.
And that's when, get this, a Mahatma, like a wise sage, kind of enters the picture.
Okay.
And the Mahatma just happens to be out for his morning walk and sees the man about to do this.
Oh, wow. What a chance encounter.
Right, like fate intervened or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Mahatma, without even thinking, jumps right into the river and saves him.
Wow. That's pretty dramatic.
I know, right?
I can only imagine what's going through that man's head at that moment.
Oh, totally. Like relief, confusion, probably even anger.
Yeah.
So the man breaks down on the riverbank and explains his whole situation to the Mahatma, the debt, the hopelessness.
And the Mahatma, being wise and all, probably doesn't offer some simple solution.
You're exactly right. He does something completely unexpected.
Oh.
He says, I'll help you repay your debt.
Whoa. Okay, now that's interesting.
So, of course, the man's relieved and agrees to go with him, hoping for a miracle.
Yeah.
But here's where things get a little strange. The Mahatma takes him to a wealthy say.
Say. Now, what is that exactly?
It's basically like a merchant, a businessman.
Okay.
And I'm thinking, what does a Mahatma and a wealthy merchant have to do with this guy's debt?
Right. It's totally unclear what's happening.
So they get to the Say's place, and the Mahatma starts whispering to him. The man can't hear anything, but he sees that the Saya is nodding along. And then the Saya says, 2 lakh rupees. That's all I can offer.
2 lakh rupees. Now, how much is that?
Oh, yeah, good point. It's about a couple $1,000s.
Okay.
So not an insignificant amount, but definitely not enough to solve a major debt crisis.
Right.
So what was this money for? What were they bargaining for?
Yeah, I'm super curious now.
Well, that's what makes this story so interesting. The man has no clue what's going on.
Oh, wow.
He's just watching this whole exchange unfold, totally bewildered. And then it gets even weirder.
It's weirder.
The Mahatma whispers something else to the Say.
Okay.
And this time the offer jumps to 4 lakh rupees.
All right. Now I'm hooked.
All right.
It's like some kind of option, but he doesn't even know what they're selling.
Exactly.
I bet our listeners are on the edge of their seats right now, wondering what's going to happen next.
Oh, I know I was.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait for part 2 to find out.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Me too. So the Mahatma and the Say, they're still whispering back and forth.
Okay.
And the price, it just keeps climbing higher and higher.
Oh, wow.
It's like some bizarre game, and the man is just stuck right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Totally clueless.
The Mahatma really seems to be drawing this out.
Yeah, like building the suspense.
And the tension.
Right. Like it's all part of some bigger plan.
I wonder what the Mahatma is trying to do here.
Well, finally, he reveals what's been going on.
Oh.
And get this, they were discussing prices for the man's organs.
His organs.
Yeah, like his eyes, his kidneys, his liver, his heart, everything.
Whoa, that took a dark turn.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
I mean, it's a shocking way to make a point, but it definitely gets your attention.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the man, he's terrified.
Yeah, I bet.
He realizes that even if they offered him like 50 lakh rupees, which is a fortune, he wouldn't sell any of it.
It's like in that moment, he understands the true value of his own life.
Right, like it's priceless.
No amount of money could replace it.
And, it makes me think about how we often take our own bodies for granted.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially when we're caught up in our problems and stresses.
Exactly. We forget how precious life really is.
It's like the Mahatma orchestrated this whole thing to make the man see that.
Yeah, like a wake-up call.
He basically made him realize that giving up isn't the answer.
So what happens next? Does the Mahatma try to make him sell his organs anyway?
No, of course not. This isn't some horror story.
Okay, good. I was getting a little worried there.
The Mahatma, he was just using this very unconventional method to teach him a lesson.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
So what was the lesson? What did he say to the man?
He basically told him, look, we all undervalue the gift of life, the gift of breath. We can overcome any challenge as long as we don't give up.
Wow, that's powerful.
Right. Like, even when things feel impossible, there's still a reason to keep going.
And it's not about ignoring the problems or pretending they don't exist.
No, it's about acknowledging them, but also recognizing your own strength.
Our own resilience.
Exactly.
And I think the story uses this metaphor of selling body parts to really drive that point home.
Yeah, like some things are just priceless.
Our health, our ability to experience life, to connect with others.
And sometimes we need a powerful reminder of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really makes you think, like how often do we actually stop and appreciate what we have?
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day stuff and forget about the bigger picture.
Totally. So how can we actually apply this to our own lives?
Yeah.
How do we cultivate that sense of gratitude even when things are tough?
Well, I think one thing is to be more mindful, more present in the moment.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Instead of just going through the motions, really try to savor the experience. Like,
Sure.
pay attention to the taste of your food when you eat.
Yeah,
Or really feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, little things like that.
I like that, slowing down and appreciating the simple things.
Right, and another thing you can try is keeping a gratitude journal.
Oh yeah, I've heard of those.
Yeah, just take a few minutes each day to write down a few things you're grateful for.
It could be anything, right?
Anything. A good cup of coffee, a funny conversation with a friend, a beautiful sunset.
It helps to shift your focus to the positive.
Exactly. And over time, it can actually rewire your brain to be more appreciative.
So it's like training yourself to see the good in everything.
Yeah, and gratitude isn't just about feeling good either.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of research showing that it's linked to all sorts of benefits.
Like what?
Improved physical and mental health, stronger relationships, greater resilience, the list goes on.
Wow, so it's not just about appreciating life more, it's actually good for you.
Exactly. And I think the key takeaway from this whole story is that we all have a choice.
A choice.
Yeah, we can choose to focus on the negative, or we can choose to focus on the positive.
It's like that saying, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. What are some things in your life that you truly treasure? Things you might be taking for granted?
Good question.
And how can you bring that appreciation into your everyday life?
Maybe try out a gratitude journal or just take a few moments to really be present.
Whatever works for you, just remember, even when things are tough, there's always something to be grateful for.
Beautifully said. Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll catch you next time for another fascinating exploration.